Don't you know that the music should be solemn?
Hey, pal.
Hey, pal.
What's up?
What's up?
What are you doing over there?
What are you doing over there?
It's getting close.
Can you see the finish line, Rossi? Juicy Pants,
I see it pretty clear now. Yeah, I didn't until about 2 days ago. And now I see it. I'm in, it's still double-digit days, but it's a low double-digit days.
Beautiful.
I'm excited.
I wish that, all our fam crow family knew as much as I know about what you've been doing, but that's coming. They're not allowed to know everything. They're
not allowed to know everything. They know enough.
They know too much, actually.
They're going to know more soon when we start that other show. They're going to know a lot when we start the other show.
Boy, are they ever.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun because as much as we love doing this, it's going to be fun to just like talk, especially one of the things, and I'm not going to give away too much because nothing's set in stone, but when we do start the other show, and that means this one's not going anywhere. So don't get too,
crazy.
I don't
crazy.
Comments. Yeah. People, where are you going? We're not going anywhere. But the new show we're doing, the other show, which is Theory with us, which has just us and life and all that. One of the things that we're going to do is for certain, people who join and the members and all that kind of stuff is they get to kind of request what we want to talk about, like what they want us to talk about. And touch on.
Boy, oh boy, you're gonna have to look that shit up because I know everything. So
you know everything.
Get ready.
And I'm sure they're gonna be sending some wild stuff in there.
Whoa.
So what's going on? You said you had something that you wanted to do, or
not just quite yet, but I have something for you on this show that we're about to do. But I want to say I've got my Harley hoodie on today because my 3 horses, 4 horses, 2 horses, 5 horses, not sure how many motorcycles I really have. It's almost time to ride them all because brother man, I'm done. I wrapped my movie / TV show / 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So now I can get out there and get my bikes going, and I don't know, spring is in the air and things are hopefully getting a little bit better. Oh, and I'm getting my vaccination next week.
Good for you.
I'm finally in line, in the right line, and doing all the right things, and it's my turn. And LA and California are doing such a great job of getting those vaccines out there quicker. And I'm excited about that. So next time I talk to you, I'll let you know how that all goes.
Yeah. And like I told you, I know a lot of people, all facets of life, friends, family, whatever, who have. I've been working. Obviously, I haven't. And you just got done. We'll see what happens. I think so you don't know. I don't know enough about it, so I don't like talking about things that I don't know anything about. But I know there's a bunch of different ones. You don't know like which one you're getting, like the 2 shot.
When I signed up, I'll take Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson. They've all been passed. Doesn't matter to me.
Right.
And not at all. And I'm just grateful.
Yeah.
Be now in a line at my age and where I'm at in my life that California is going, Kim Coates, stand in line. Here we go. So pretty happy about that.
Do you get like an ID or something if you get it? Like, oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. And you show them your health card, and if you don't have your health card, you show them where you live and blah, blah, blah. And they fill it all out, and it's all part of it.
No. I'm saying like after you get it, is it like you have like an I voted button or something where it says like I'm vaccinated? Like how do people know, or is it just verbal? What is this?
That's a very good question. I've got 3 very tight friends, and you know them all. They're very tight friends with you too. They're older than me, so they've had both their shots now.
Yeah.
I need to ask. I need to find that out.
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know how, Orwellian it's going to get. Like, is there a thing like where people would know, like, I don't know. It's like having a driver's license. I don't know enough because I've been.
I think as the world continues to unfold and we travel more and we all get vaccinated or and things just continue hopefully to just get better and better. I think there's going to be something for those people who have been vaccinated. Perhaps traveling easier, perhaps not quarantining as long until this COVID thing is completely kicked in the ass. So we have to find out.
But it's like, I always look at it like if you get a flu shot, like you don't have like any documentation. You just tell people, yeah, I got the flu shot.
Yeah. I think
Did I ever tell you the story? Did I ever tell you the crazy story of me with the flu shot?
No.
It's really funny.
Tell us.
It's really funny and not funny. So how about that?
I'll be the judge of that. Go ahead.
Okay. So a couple years back, I had never gotten a flu shot. But this is, however, it's got to be 5 years ago. Megan was pregnant.
Yeah.
And the doctor had recommended that I get a flu shot. And I was like, well, I don't like, I could probably
haven't done that. So
I'd never done it. And I wasn't against it. I'm not against anything. I'm a big science proponent. So I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I've gotten sick maybe 5 times in the last 25 years. So I was like, knock on wood or something. But I was like,
I got you.
Thank you. I'm not sure if that was wood because my hand almost.
This is wood.
Yeah, that's wood. So
keep going.
So I go to this doctor, like one of those like emergency care, whatever, where you just go and get the shot, whatever. And they happen to be big fans of SONS.
Perfect.
So they were distracted. We were taking pictures and we were doing kind of the whole bit. And okay, hey guys, yeah, awesome. I love meeting people and talking, whatever. And so then we went in and they were excited, which was great.
Where did they put that fucking flu shot?
So I got the flu shot and I was like, all right, guys, see you later. I signed a couple more things as I was leaving. And, I was with Megan. She was, she was on her way to being pretty pregnant at the time. And we're walking out. I will never forget because it was snowing. And they came out and they said, Mr. Rossi. And I knew something was wrong because they were saying Mr. Rossi.
Yeah, there's no more Theo. Juice. Mr. Rossi.
Please, can you come back in, Mr. Rossi? And I said, you know what, guys? I got to get her home. I'm so like, signing everything. Next time, for sure. For sure. We're good. Whatever. I didn't know if they wanted me to FaceTime their cousin or, who knows? Yeah. You know how it goes, right? So, no, please come in. I said, what's up? What's going on? We gave you the wrong shot.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I said, okay. Well, I'm not one to panic. So I was just like, what'd you give me? And they were like, we gave you a tetanus shot instead of a flu shot. And I said,
and you didn't get bit by a dog the day before. So,
and I didn't sit on a rusty nail. I remember when you
sit on a rusty
nails or whatever. So I said, okay, sure. But then I thought after I left, because I was, me, I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. But I was leaving and I was thinking, what if I was allergic to like a tetanus shot or something?
Hey, this is when science goes a bit sideways. You just trust that they know exactly what they're putting in your arm. I mean, every time I've had surgery, and I've had a few times with my busted bones and shit. Yeah. And just before you're about to go out, and the doc comes over and put the what's it called? Anesthesiologist comes over and you anesthesiologist. Yeah. And you look at them and they go, okay, so you'll be asleep. And I go, we're good, right?
I will be asleep.
I'm going to wake up, right? Like,
yeah, right.
And I will be asleep during this, right?
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, you just hope. You're putting a lot of hope in people that they're doing what you think.
Trust and hope. All right. Rossi,
yeah,
I want to play something for you.
Very shiny today. Go ahead.
You? No, you look good.
Oh, thanks.
I'm always a little darker skinned than you because I'm out in the sun more. All right, here we go.
I will be soon.
This is what I want to play for everybody.
Is it you singing?
Just a minute.
It's taking very long.
Hello everyone, this is Matt from KenHub, and in this tutorial we will be looking at one of the infoldings of the cranial duramater, the Falx Cerebri.
Boom!
To begin,
Amazing. Still don't know what it is. It's Falx Cerebri?
Falx Cerebri. That's what this guy said. I'm going to go with it. We know it's part of the cranium.
Oh.
You know, poor Chibi was blown up at the end of last episode.
It took me a while to get there.
Okay, that's why I'm here for you, son.
Wow. Okay.
I'm riding beside you on this whole journey.
So tell me.
No, that's it. Just means it's part of the cranium and the brain and the cranium, and that's what happened to Tommy. And are we going to lose him? Are we going to lose Chibi? Oh my God!
Funny that you and your guessing game. You said to me the other day when we were on the phone, where I said, "What episode are we doing? What's next?" And you said it's some Irish word, and I went,
"No, I said some French word. I thought it was a French word."
I don't know what you said. Maybe I wasn't listening. The point is, I was like, oh, it's another one of these like coded things. I didn't know it's actually like part of like the cerebellum and the cerebrum and the whole.
There you go. Part of our cranium, part of our brain.
I learned something today. Falx Cerebri.
Sure. There you go. Pretty good.
Pretty good. Well, let me tell you something. It was nice that we're in season 2. We have a couple episodes left. We have a real, I'm going to use a word that nobody uses anymore, a real humdinger coming up for the finale on this one.
I'm going to keep my mouth completely sealed.
Pretty excited.
Because you and I just found something out, and it's going to be an incredible way to say goodbye to season 2, and therein 1, 2, and 3 will have been completed in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So pretty exciting. Which
we've always looked at as chapters, right? So it's 1, 2, 3 is chapter 1, 4, 5, 6 is chapter 2, and then chapter 3 is season 7, which
correct.
Is the whole thing, and that's Reaper Reviews in a nutshell. So we're going to be closing out the first 39 episodes, which is the first 3 seasons, not just with the finale of season 2, because remember we were a little wild in the beginning, going
crazy guys.
But we're going to have, we think. And I want to commit to something. We're going to have a guest that we were really excited about having on.
Oh no, it's on.
It's on. It's on. I like that you say it's on, because then I'm gonna believe it too. And I got to tell you something. Even in the madness of me having to, basically be like Hugh Jackman and Swordfish with my tech skills with the last 2 guests, I got to tell you,
and me, and still me. I mean, I look better. I sound better.
I'm hoping.
But I freak out when shit doesn't happen, Rossi.
I have a lot of hope for the 3rd guest, because I think he or she will have their
look at I'm going
yeah. I think they're going to have it together to on the tech side. But that being said, we're like 99% positive. I've had some fun with these guests, because it's kind of cool. Obviously they're not part of reviewing the episode, which is great, but it's just about really their experience. And then eventually, because Chibs will come on again and Lift Off Happy will come on.
We'll get the yell again.
Yeah. When they, I know we had to get the 2 craziest voiced characters
right away.
Get them out of the way. So when they come on again, then it'll be less about like, their experience with the whole thing. And then we can go into some other stuff. But
yeah, it's great. It's a great little world we're creating here, Rossi. It's
it is a great little world we're creating. So let's get into this cranial episode.
Cerebri. Here we go.
Go for it.
Okay, so season 2, episode 6. Tommy's just been blown up, and again, we don't do this a lot on Sons, but we go boom. Next second of this show is when this show starts. So here we are. Everyone's
that, by the way. I'm a big fan of that.
Me too.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of like it ends, it starts.
Me too. And if you noticed, Billy Gerhardt directed this show, and we've already said how much we love little Billy. Just an incredible
tell
job.
Them a fun fact about Billy and me and you.
Yeah, you want to? Or do you want me to?
You do.
About CSI Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, kind of before I got Sons, you had already shot the pilot. And then we had to shoot the pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had been asked by Caruso to please come on a show. And I wasn't really sure. And I thought, fuck it. Okay, I'll do that show. I ended up doing 5 or 6 or 7 shows. Yeah. And I had already done one before Sun started. And then I did 5 thereafter during our hiatus or when they could get me. And one of the shows I did, you started.
Yeah, me and you.
Me and you.
You killed me.
And I had to kill you because you were screwing up.
And Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
Was the camera operator.
Oh yeah. No, it was.
He was the camera operator because Billy, before he was the director, was running a cam on CSI Miami.
You're right, bro. You're right.
And he was running a cam on the Shield, and that's how he got into our world. And Billy used to be called like the 5th or 6th, whatever, Shield member, because a lot of that show was them busting into rooms and doing whatever, and he'd be on the steady.
God, he did that so well.
Yeah,
so peeps, this is how you grow in the business. You become a focus puller, then you become a grip, then you become a camera guy, then you become a DP, and then all of a sudden you're directing. And Billy certainly did that, and he was fantastic.
Yeah, so we had our time together. And another fun fact about CSI Miami, which the real fans know, was that Walton Goggins started that episode. He played my partner. He was in that episode with me. Him and I were
Van Damme, not looking like Venus at all in that show.
Not looking like Venus. And I got to tell you what I learned from Walton on that as an actor. So I had been acting for, 8 years.
Sure.
But I had done a lot of guest stars. I was still a guest star on Sons, and I was still learning how to act. And you could have all the training in the world, but on the game duty is very different than training, right? So you learn things. The more you work, the more you learn, right? So Walt was the first actor that I had worked with that would do pre-stuff, meaning that we had learned through all our different techniques and all the horse shit of, that you learn sometimes that you do stuff a lot internally on your own before you start a scene. You understand this better than anyone, but he would do stuff with me. So we would have our prior before.
I love rolling. That so much when that happens.
Me too. And he'd be like, come on, we got to go do this. We got to rob this person. We got to do, and they're not even rolling yet. They're not calling action. So he had taught me that we can rev into this, as opposed to just sitting there cold.
Yeah, you had a lot of scenes with Walton. You were with him. I don't think I had one scene with Walton in CSI Miami, but you did. Your character.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and I've continued that throughout my career. And it was something that I have to credit him with because I had heard of it. I had just never had a partner that did it, and I'd always wanted to, but I was always in the lesser position. So yeah, shout out to Billy Gerhardt, who's directing this Cerebri episode. So it starts off closing the ambulance.
Yeah.
Chibbs is in there. Go for it.
Yeah, 2 big long scenes in a row. Unser and Clay.
Yep.
And then Hale and Jax. And you have the 2 different factions of the old guys getting together. What the fuck are we going to do about this? And you have the young guys getting together. What the fuck can we do about this? And I've always, Sons has this way of either little scenes, or let's just slow it the fuck down right now and get into some shit. And Ron and Clay, or Clay and Unser did that in that very first scene. And it's like, Unser, like they're threatening each other, but they both really need each other. Mm-hmm. In the end, those 2, they're drinking a shot of vodka, and this is horrible. We might lose Chibbs. What the hell is going on? But they really need each other. And then, do you want to talk about that scene before we get to the next one?
Yeah, I do. I want to say something that, you talk about Cerebri and how you get into kind of the different thought process. What I loved in the juxtaposition of those 2 things was you have Unser and Clay, the kind of, for lack of a better word, 2 old dogs who their way
Correct.
Is like, we got to go to war. We got to go in, and Clay even says like, this is going to hit Main Street if we don't do it this way. And then you had Hale and Jax who were like, slow down. We got to be more methodical, and we got to think about this. So it was great to have a cop and for lack of, a crew member, you would say a club member together on each side, and they're both
super great.
And they're looking at it different ways. The young guys are looking at it thinking. The other guys are looking at it.
Great point, Theo. And you hear from Hale, are you asking me to help you with Zobel? Is that what you're doing here? And as an audience member, you go, Jesus Christ, is fucking Hale? Is he going to be a young Unser? Is he not going to be? Is he going to help? Is he not going to help? very tricky writing in there.
Yeah, and I write later, and I can't wait to get to it when I talk about Hale, is that the absolute and utter potential that character had, and it worked out very fine for Taylor in his life. But when you think about that character, there's something that's said later on about his backstory that he could have been. There's so much to explore.
Yeah.
So Mary then comes up and says Opie never comes home.
Julia Arola. I mean, how much do we love her? And she says it. And I don't even know, you and I watching the show for the first time, really, for so many of these episodes. I don't know how many times she is talking about Opie or Piney's at the goddamn shack again, or I can't do the kids, but everything she says is from her heart and it's truthful. And Jax again gets as truthful back.
She's an acting teacher.
Is she?
Yeah.
In real life?
Yeah.
It shows.
Yeah. She's an acting teacher. I think
Julie's brilliant.
Yeah, she worked with a few people on the show. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting is when we talk about crumbs. She says in that very short scene, I wasn't with him when he grew up. He was with Piney.
Yeah.
So I don't have that kind of relationship with him. You do to Jack. Yeah. So it's like, oh, wow, Opie didn't have his mom around. So you just learned something about two characters in like 2 sentences.
It's beautiful. And remember, everybody, Opie wasn't supposed to be around now. Mm-mm. He was supposed to be gone at the end of season 1.
By you.
By me. Mm-hmm. Not Donna, Opie. Ryan decided to stay. They wanted him around. And here we are getting into his backstory more and more and more. Fabulous shit. All right.
Yeah. So now Tara can't figure out why Jax isn't more mad. You can tell that like everybody wants him to be more mad. And he's trying to really look at this from an intelligent standpoint because he understands Zobel is
better than anybody else.
And he's not like anybody we've ever dealt with.
No.
So he's starting to look at it. So he's playing it super calm and smart. Charlie, like, literally is Jax is just smoking, walking, thinking. And that's a really great difference from Clay is like ready to tear everything apart.
Yeah.
Tig is ready to tear everything apart.
Everything.
And I really like that he's doing that because he's just so he leaves Tara and Gemma and Tara's going through it.
Well, and Tara goes like this. She says, why would anyone do something like that? She says to Gemma and to Jax. And I don't know if you noticed this, Theo, but there are so many beautiful little subtle glances throughout this entire episode. And here's one that we had between Tara and Gemma. When she says to Jax, why would anyone do something like this? She had a subtle look at Gemma. And Gemma looked at her. Mm-hmm. Tara looked back at Gemma. And you realize as an audience member, oh, wow, wait. There's a secret. Those two know about it. They knew what happened about the sexual assault to Gemma. But Jax doesn't. Like there's these little subtle, and Billy got
that happens a lot this episode.
Oh, doesn't it? Doesn't it, bro? I wrote,
there's a lot of those. And again, when she tells her to tell, when she says maybe we should say something, Gemma gets angry. She's like, I'm not,
no responsibility. She's not taking any of it.
No, she doesn't want to. No. Now we get to the table. I thought Happy had a really interesting line there. He wants to cut off his head.
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, right.
It's so great.
It was a great line. I mean, he's like, let's cut off his head. It's like, okay.
Okay.
What a great line. It's such a great
Not even a second went by before he okay.
No, he's ready to do it. And
ready to do it.
Again, here we go. We're really starting to see the split. This is it.
When you and I would say something about, you remember when your mom and dad used to fight, or you remember when you'd see these fights going on here and there. Those early days for me and that split between Jax and Clay, I remember a lot of them from the cigar smell. Like I was always beside Clay. Tig was always right there. You were always beside Bobby and Jax. Yeah. And that cigar in those first 2-3 seasons was on all the time when Clay was thinking.
And the smokes. Everybody.
And the smokes were going.
Yeah.
That cigar smell, man. Wow. Yeah, they were going at it, those two.
And this is like really this is, it's season 2. The show had picked up, the show had definitely started getting recognition. And they were going at it. Those two.
Oh yeah, and it was beautifully done.
It really was. So, okay, now here's, I think, the most interesting part of the episode is starting right here is Opie. Opie's getting into it with Jax.
Couldn't agree more.
I mean, I got to tell you, I did not, again, because I don't know what's happening. I love seeing this side of Opie. He's like putting Jax in his place.
I just wrote down, wow, Opie gives it right straight to Jax. He goes, you are pushing to be king. You gotta back down and wait your turn. This is Clay's club.
Yeah.
All the while he's putting his jacket on, his ruffle leather. You can see, and here's Jax just trying to do the right thing for the club. And his best friend's going, simmer down, kid. Not your fucking turn.
And literally, and like you said, he's always on the move. So he's not even like, it's not even like, hey, let me holler at you. Let me give you like a good conversation about this. No, it's I'm gonna tell you straight up, this is the way it is. And you're being a child, you're being wrong, whatever. And he's really giving him the business. He's like, I got to tell you, watching the way Jax receives it and watching the way Opie is giving it to him, what a great setup for everything that's coming later.
Oh my God. It couldn't have been better. And here's Jax going, I'm concerned about you. I'm concerned about your kids. And Opie stands up and goes, what the fuck do you think you know about me?
You don't know anything about
me. I don't know anything about me.
Yeah. He's definitely, I mean, we always hurt the people closest to us when we're hurt.
Oh God, I'm glad you brought that up. That's
hurt people, hurt people. Right. And he's hurt and he's definitely taking it out on him. So here we go. We come back.
Now, hang on. So when this ends, we're like 15 minutes deep into this episode. And finally you get that riding through this world.
And I fast forward right through it.
Oh, I fast forward through it. Even saying it, I'm fast forward. But my point is, it was a long chunk before we get to the
very long, almost half the episode. And you want to know
a long time.
Here's what's funny. People don't realize this. So I'm watching the show on a streaming service. I give no one credit until they start advertising with us. But I'm watching the show on a streaming service here in the hotel.
Yeah.
And the second the song comes on, I have to immediately move past it. Like if I almost play a game.
Gotta run.
I don't want to hear the lyric.
La 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 la.
And then when it ends and the Reaper comes up and it's like, I go, shut it. I don't want to hear ding 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 ding. I can't hear that. I can't hear it.
It's and like we say that with all the love in the world, but Jesus
God, I love it. But whew.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so Jax is on the roof journaling. Edmund shows up. I guess he could smell car bombs or something. He could smell it. He comes in from the Irish. I
forgot about all that shit.
I forgot about. I forget you sometimes.
I mean, who cares? But I forgot all about the Irish. I know they're connected to us, kinda. It's going to come bigger in the third season.
They're giving us the guns,
right?
But you remember, like while it's becoming bigger, they are a large part of the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, for sure.
So Edmund is Cammie Hayes' son. He's his partner. He shows up. And he's kind of asking what's going on and saying that we're going to bring heat and we're going to bring FBI. Clay is showing his anger, right? Yeah. And then Unser and Hale give it info about whereabouts at different times, right?
And again, a subtle look that Jax gives to Clay, how Clay knew something. There's this little Billy captured all these incredible little. You got the Jax on this side, you got Clay on that side, and the little looks that Jax especially is given to Clay were dynamite.
Yeah, and again, it shows the different time of filmmaking too. Billy let the camera sit. That comes from being an operator and a DP and all that. Like he let it sit, and when you let it sit, you can get those looks that can tell you the whole story. There's one, but again, you got to be careful not to tip your hat because there is one that comes later that I had no idea what happens in this episode, and I figured it out by somebody giving a look, and I went,
there you go.
And I'll get to it later. So Opie goes to follow Jax. He tracks him.
He's 100% squarely in Clay's corner. 100%. Boom.
Like fully. Yeah. And so this was a fun day for me. And this is the first day Dayton and I really worked together. And
I'm literally gonna get a cigar. I'm gonna come back and sit down. I might even light it. My wife doesn't have to be here.
I'd love to have a cigar.
And I want to hear that because to me, that Laurel and Hardy shit that you two have going on coming up, just
so fun.
Take me through it. If you don't remember this day, I'm gonna fucking slap you.
I actually remember every single part of this
How
day.
fun was that for you and Dayton?
I had so much fun with him. And I had so much fun with him because you couldn't have found a more opposite character for Juice. Like Unser is so opposite. And it was the stuff with the urine. But the point is, I'm going to hose it all down.
Yeah.
I'm a silverback at that point. I got the big Telemundo shirt on and Juice, that was him at his biggest. I think I was like 200 and something pounds.
You're a big.
I was a bull. And knowing that I was going to be with Dayton for that episode was just on and off camera one of the funnest days I've ever had with him. But it was nice because remember, I wasn't, since you and I had done our stuff in season 1.
Yeah.
And then there was the little stuff in season 3. Season 2, I didn't have much going on. So it was kind of cool to get in that. So, but
you had a lot going on in this episode, son.
Yeah.
A lot.
Before that all happens, Zobel now is meeting with the Irish. Edmund and Polly are sidebarring. Yeah. That's developing their little relationship that's going on.
Yeah.
And now we know that, or for what I think, and tell me if I'm completely wrong here, I'm sure they'll tell me, is he getting in business with them?
Yeah.
Oh, and they're doing it behind our back?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
It did. But what didn't suck is every time Sarah Jones comes up on screen, I mean,
yeah,
she
plays Polly.
She plays Polly and great friends of ours and just did such an incredible job. But I forgot about that little hookup between Hayes
that becomes a big part.
Pivotal. In the third season.
Yeah. So it's such a big part of it. And I again, I'm always blown away that characters start so much earlier than I think.
Right.
Where like I'll see someone in season 1 and I go, wait a second, Chucky was in 3rd episode or whatever it was, and they've been there the whole time. Right. You think that the guest stars sometimes, because sometimes they disappear. Like Darby disappeared for like a long time at one point.
Long time.
Because they get other TV shows or they get whatever. So I didn't realize that they were all on that early. And played that pivotal roles up until season 3. So Opie pulls up. This is so weird to me. We did this a lot in the beginning. We never really did at the end. When he rolls up to the crew, Opie, he has no sunglasses on. He's riding with just his helmet and no sunglasses.
God, I didn't even see that. God, that would have pissed me off if I was there.
Yeah, it pissed me off. And I'll tell you why. And Ryan knows better. You just can't ride like that, especially on those dirt roads and all that. But sometimes we were just rushing and we didn't know. But those are, the two things.
It's so true
that piss us off: the sunglasses and the helmets.
Pissed me off like crazy. And I got to tell you, I want to give a shout out to our second unit directors and the crew that we had. I mean, peeps, you got to understand that some of these shots, like the one just previous when Opie's character hits that car. And Jack splits without him, and he went flying onto that car. Yeah. Our stunt team.
No, he does that Slater, the flying on the car. He only stopped at a stop sign in the beginning. It's all right. You'll get there.
Really just bikes and car crashes. I don't remember the two boys trying to get away close to each other. That was a second.
Don't review your notes.
I have to.
I'm going to tell you what happened.
All right. Well,
Opie chased 2 things. He chased Zobel later on. We'll get to that.
Oh, that's way down.
Jax.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about.
But he didn't get in an accident in the first one.
I think he did.
Hey, you know what?
I think his bike crashed into a car. Anyway, I want to give it up to the stunt guys.
Of course.
Who some of those days were some of our favorite times. Hardly any dialogue and just like, let's go with the second unit.
Did your stunt double, did you use the same one for 7 years or did you have different ones?
I had different guys. The one guy who took that incredible crash for me when Bobby's bike explodes. Yeah. And that was a unique guy who really knew how to fall without killing himself down the side of a hill. So,
but you didn't have the same one.
No, I had different guys.
I had a guy pretty much for season 4 on EOD, and we have now done 3 other movies together, and he was the one who did, and we'll get to it. I don't even know what season it is, where I jump off the bike into the van.
Oh Jesus, I remember
way
that.
Down, yeah, and the bike goes spinning all over.
I remember that.
Yeah,
that wasn't you, son.
That well, I'll when we get to that, I took it to the final moment. But he, the bike he had to let go of the motorcycle and it trashes and all that. But he's a tremendous stuntman. But why I bring this up is there were times I'll never forget on set. Because I was always there the earliest because of the tattoos, and they'd bring the stuntmen in, stuntwoman, crack of dawn.
Crack of dawn.
And I would get such a kick out of seeing some of these. I'd be like, who picked this stunt person? Because Bobby Elvis's stunt person is 125 pounds with a giant Santa Claus costume on. Tiggs looks like
no. You and I would always love those wigs that they would put on. You and I would put them on. We'd take photos of them. They look nothing like them.
But and it would be, so when you got one that looked like you were like, wow, this is
thank you.
Because again, it's hard because again, when it's not a big movie, you got to get who's available. You got to get the closest one, and the certain ones are doing certain stunts. If they're doing wire work, if they're doing motorcycles, because they're all proficient in specific things. Some are proficient in a few, but most are just one thing. Like great at
for sure.
Cars. So I always get a kick. I wish I could see pictures of all the ones you had, because I know you had some doozies.
I did have some doozies.
Yeah.
All right, where are we?
Okay.
We're at the Zobel hunt now. Where are we?
Yeah, so basically, let me just get to where I am. And Opie pulls up on the crew. Jax and Hale are working together. Shootout in the house with the toddler. Come on, what is this going on? I say toddler, but he was more like a young.
He was a little punk, is what that little kid was.
I got it.
I got it down as the gang who couldn't shoot straight. You got Booney in there screaming like he's in a Western. Hold your fire.
Booney came in like Columbo.
Hold your fire.
Yeah, he came in a slide like the Dukes of Hazzard. Did you see the way he came in?
And you had DL giving hand signals like he was a Marine in Vietnam.
And he's not.
I mean, it just got kooky in there.
But let's talk about the kid all dressed up in his despicable, white, whatever they're called, power
nationalists. They're called white nationalists.
Year shooting at
shit. Speaking of shit, boy, did we say shit a lot in this episode?
We did. How old is that kid?
12.
You think 12? I was gonna say like 9 or 10. Okay, he's 12.
Well, he played 9 or 10, but I bet he's a little bit older. But
yeah, but I'm saying the kid in the show, Western's kid, is like 9 or 10, right?
Sure.
And here he is firing weapons.
Yeah.
That was a really big, thing. He calls Jax like a race traitor or something. And like that was a moment to.
And he pulled the trigger into his stomach with no bullets left. He would have killed him and gone to prison for the rest of his life.
I know. Listen, man, it's taking a chance on TV. You're doing that with a kid, and all that kind of stuff. Man. So. Whatever, that was a crazy scene. I just love if anybody's watching this episode, go pause it when Boone comes running in the house, because he's in like full.
Oh no, it's gonna take everybody down.
He's taking
hold your fire,
and himself. So the Jackson Clay drama begins heavy. This is it. We're in it.
Oh yeah.
There's Team Jax. Opie is the surprise.
Yeah.
And they are at each other's throats.
Yeah.
And it's not going to end well.
No.
Clay is busting up the cigar shop.
Again, when he signed on, he said, I got to make sure I have one scene where I get to destroy everything in a room. And this is the one time that they went, okay, Pearl, you ready? One take, 3 cameras, go at it. I was there that day. I got to watch it from the door.
Yeah, Tig was smiling.
I was smiling through the whole thing.
Yeah, everybody else was like concerned. Tig was smiling.
Not me. Wreck it.
Yeah, and again, stupid when you really think about it. Jax was right? Stupid.
Jax is right throughout this entire episode.
Yeah, and what I love is that he lit the cigar at the end. Very Ron, very Clay. Listen, I got such a weird thing with Zobel. There's so many weird things about that character, and a lot of it comes up throughout this episode.
He's a magician. He's a Houdini. Where is he? What's he really thinking? I don't trust anything, but he's so fucking good at what he's doing.
He is, and he's good. And you think like, what's his end game?
Yeah.
So now Gemma and Tara are getting a Chibs update.
Yeah.
Tara is not feeling safe. She is this whole club thing with Chibs. She thinks her life's a danger. Obviously, she's still suffering from a PTSD of Cone, and everything that came from there. She is in a kind of troubled space, which, we're going to eventually resolve in this episode.
Yeah.
But she's leaning on Gemma a lot for advice on how to navigate the waters of being, part of this Reaper crew, part of his family. And I like that. I like, and I like seeing it makes it so realistic, right? Like when you're starting to see all these different sides of these characters, that she is not feeling safe, that she is questioning, is it like this all the time? Because she's,
oh my gosh,
she just got back.
And Cone is gone because of him and her and Jax, and he kind of saved her life in a way. But the life that he's leading is something that she didn't really know full hand, and now she's getting a sniff of what it really is like to be a old lady, for lack of a better term. And Gemma and her have this secret that's actually we'll get to it, but it's starting to leak. The dam of that secret is starting to little water's coming out of what really happened to Gemma in the very first episode of this season. But Tara's front and center with Gemma right now, and you feel it.
Yeah, and then Hale shows up at that hospital, and he tells Gemma that Unser told him, and I had no idea. I love when I see stuff and I have no idea. And what a great scene.
Great.
And you're like, she's gonna fucking kill Unser.
She screams, "Shut up!" to his face and pulls him in that chapel.
Yeah.
And boy, man, I mean, and did you see this, Theo? Oh my God, it was so. Katie, what a choice! She subtly grabbed her jacket and tried to cover herself up like she was exposed. Like she was
experience it again,
naked, that she's got to have to go through this again in her own head. And it was so subtle, so physical, so beautifully done by Katie.
And such amazing little things that, an actor will do, is that little subtlety, right? It is the crossing of the arm. It is the, this, it is
nothing like it.
Yeah. I remember, it was so funny because usually people don't notice them. But we were doing that show, Luke Cage, and the character on the show that I played, Shades, he was, he's a step away from being an assassin. He would kill a lot of people. And every time when he would talk to someone and the character I knew was getting ready to make a decision that person's not going to live any longer, I would always do this with my fingers.
Oh,
I'd rub my thumb and forefinger together, and that meant like not going to be good for this person.
Not going to be good for this guy.
But I would only do it. It was more for me, right? Like it was a character thing. And I think like one person came up to me and said, "Hey, I noticed something you do on the show. Is that when you're doing that, does that mean like that person is eventually going to, And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it means. So there are all these little choices that I think actors make that, it's not necessarily for anybody to see. that's how you're creating that character. And
Gemma, you're staying in it. She was staying in it at that moment, and it was beautiful.
And Hale says something there that I really liked, and again, this makes me go into what it could have been for Hale's character had things been different in the world. Is he talks about his childhood again and growing up with everybody.
Yeah,
you think that I would turn on the people I grew up with and I grew up around, and really you show that this guy has been a part, him and Jack, like I said, him and Jax in high school, he was probably
delivering newspapers to everybody.
Yep.
Him and Jax knew each other. Yeah. Tara,
that would have been cool. They all knew each other. Him, Jax, Opie, Tara, probably all went to high school together.
They did. Of course they did.
I know. That could have been some,
And it wasn't. Boom, shakalaka.
Boom,
gone.
Shakalaka. So now Hale and Jax with Darby. Darby gets pulled over there.
Yeah.
Darby's great in anything he does. I think he calls them dicks when he walks away, but he
does. A subtle, beautiful year of both dicks.
Little dicks.
And and he says shit's going down. Oh, and this is what I loved about that little scene. It's like, maybe we get to that time soon. He goes like this. Darby goes, shit's going down and I'm heading to Vegas.
Yeah.
Could we all just go to Vegas when shit's heading down now? Can we just go to Vegas? Can I get on a airplane? Just go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Can we get back to some sort of normalcy where, shit's going down? You know what, Ma? I'm going to Vegas.
I'm going to Vegas. I'm not a Vegas fan. You like Vegas?
No, neither am I. Well, come on, you and me.
No.
Can I just tell this little story?
Please.
You and I, when we were
middle
of SONS, and you and I are, being wined and dined a little bit by our good friend, Dana White back in the day. We'd show up for those early fights at UFC. And I'm telling you what, Theo, you and me would have, 5 or 6 guys kind of around us it was time to leave. And we couldn't even get out of.
Well, that was when SONS was at its highest.
We were, we were kind of getting mauled by so many people. And Vegas, man.
The biggest recipe for disaster, and we know this, right? The biggest recipe for disaster is alcohol and large groups of people. There you
go. Bourbon Street and Vegas. Those two places.
And we've been to both.
And we've been to both.
And the Super Bowl too, is that combination.
Booze, and booze. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what it is? Because it takes off any restriction of manners.
Yeah.
It's like, where somebody might see you, if you're at the local pharmacy here, somebody will go, "Hey man, how are you?" And you go, "Cool. How are you?" And they go, "Oh man, I love your work." And you go, "Thanks, man. That's awesome. You want to take a picture?" "Sure." "Hey, cool." And then now intensify that by 1,000 and add in like they just drank 16 Long Island iced teas.
And I was in an elevator in New Orleans in Bourbon Street trying to get to my home, and 8 people and I was done. I couldn't escape. It was
and when the booze is flowing and some of them are on the yippee yips, I mean, it is it's tough. You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
All right. So here we are.
Okay.
Tara and Gemma.
They walk in the house. The parrot was working. Parrot's on the call.
Parrot was on the clock. We didn't have to pay OT for that parrot.
No.
She really behaved that day. Oh my gosh, she was perfect. And Tara says to Gemma, "Jesus Christ, you and Clay need this many guns." And Gemma goes, "These are just mine."
Unbelievable.
Is that like one of the greatest lines ever?
Unbelievable.
Is it just mine?
Yeah, unbelievable. And she's giving it a 38, and they're ready to. I mean, she read her mind. She knew. Do you still have the gun? No, I got rid of it. You need a gun. Like either way, you're gonna need one. You're gonna need this. I'm gonna read your mind. And now we're not just gonna. I'm gonna take you somewhere.
Like, come on, help me out.
Yeah. And
was this called overkill at the end of this next scene, or am I nuts?
Well, I got to tell you something.
Kristen Renton, our beautiful, talented Kristen Renton shows up again. Ima, love her.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Love hanging with her. Big dog lover, incredible actor. God, I miss her.
We should get her on the show down the road. She's amazing. Yeah. So it's funny. Was that scene overkill? Well, I thought what I liked about it was everything was right with the shooting, right? Take the breath, keep your arms.
No, that was good. I'm talking at the end of that whole thing.
The shooting of the car was a little much.
That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The car.
Maybe the tire would have been.
How about just the tire and then we laugh and let's go smoke a joint?
But now you're just
destroying the entire car. The cops.
And I gotta ask, did the cops not hear this?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
The fuck?
Who's calling 911? Somebody has to.
Overkill. That's what that was.
Yeah,
per car.
To make a point. So we cut to Polly sweeping up the shop. Hale comes in. And this is the first time that we're going to show Hale basically.
Kind of working with the SONS a little bit.
Yeah. Doing some dirty stuff.
Yeah. And he looks her up and down and goes, "Yep, this is the girl." You know what Gemma said about her? 20s, blonde, cute, with a great rack.
Yeah.
She said it.
But then when he says, "I'll just cut my arm and say you assaulted me."
I forgot that happened.
That's very unhale-like.
Very unhale-like. He plays by the book, that guy.
Yeah. So when he did that, you're like, wow, he really wants to get to Zobel, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to fix this quick. There you go.
There you go. You're back.
I'm back. So that was again where we're seeing she's nodding. Now here's where I knew something was wrong. Ready?
Sure.
I'm putting on my Inspector Gadget hat. My Inspector Clouseau. I had no idea what was going on in this episode. Not gonna lie.
Who cares? But keep going.
I just watched it before this. I'm a little tired from work. I was like, here's what happened. She gives him the info. She spills the beans, as they say, spills the tea, tells him what's up. And I went, okay. She didn't want to go to jail. She didn't want to be held for questioning.
She knew exactly what she was doing, bro.
I'm gonna tell you how I knew. When they were pushing her into the cop car,
she was smiling.
She was smiling.
Good job. Good pickup, little brother.
Yeah.
I forgot about it too until that little smile.
And then the second she did that, I went, uh-oh.
Oh, no.
And then it all came back to me like Guy Pearce in Memento. I was like, oh my God, they're being set up.
Yeah.
And now in my brain, I knew everybody was being set up. And
Yeah.
you watched it all occur throughout, which Jax knew from the beginning, right?
Yeah. He didn't know how, but he knew they were going to get set up. Yeah.
So Jax and Tara have a quick scene to connect. She's calmer now after, shooting up that car.
That car made feeling a lot better about herself.
Yeah, making her feel better about herself, which is ridiculous.
Bonnie from Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde. So the club's all talking at the bar. Juice finds info.
Yeah.
Again, at this point, I'm knowing Juice, you dummy.
A lot of toothpick. Got a lot of toothpick action going on there too.
A lot of toothpick.
A lot of toothpick. I loved it.
I liked having the toothpick.
Juice was like your soother.
Juice.
When you're a baby, you have a soother.
It was a total soother.
Yeah.
He did have a pacifier at one point.
A little pacifier in America. Soother up in Canada. Keep going.
So Juice comes in with the info, not even thinking that this has been placed in Weston's computer, which I don't know why they would know that, but they put it in the calendar because Zobel's smarter. He's always a step ahead. They're covering all bases.
Good point. Really good point, Juice.
Oh yeah. The whole thing was a setup.
No, for sure. But to not have any loose ends with Zobel, with his loose ends, he had none. He knew exactly what he was doing, and very frustrating for us.
And Jax knew, right? So then as Bobby, everybody's leaving to get in the van, Bobby lets the cat out of the bag to Jax because Jax in there pretending to work on a bike. And
I know, right?
Pretending to work on a bike.
Yeah, little Charlie has a little Telemundo shirt, cut, half cut off from the arms on.
And Bobby just nonchalantly, Christian Center.
We're all going there now.
Like, what? Yeah, we're going to assault someone right now. He says it very nonchalantly. Jax is off. He's going. So here's one of my favorite parts, Unser's face when Gemma walks into the police station. Unser knows he's in trouble. He made a giant mistake. And he's like, please, I don't want the FBI to see me get beat up.
Get killed by Gemma, assaulted by Gemma. Yeah.
I don't want to see get assaulted. It's a great little thing. I love their relationship. I always have. So Jax is already pulled up to the center, the Christian Center, where this is going to go down before everybody else gets there. He's waiting. So he got there faster. He knows he's going to try to stop it, even though he knows he can't. At least maybe try to do it smarter.
Again, I'm so good. Okay, keep going. Because the look he gave to Opie when we start, are we there now? Is that where we're at? Mm-hmm. The boys are starting to show up now. We're all starting to show up now.
Well, not yet. Because we're going to cut quickly to Gemma and Unser in the cell. And that's where she's really going through it. And,
we should talk about that a little bit, right?
Yeah, let's go to that for a minute because that's an important scene.
She's going to an old friend like Unser and she's opening up, right? Like she's opening up. And I found that the two of them, again, have such a friendship. They've known each other since they were in high school. Unser had a massive crush on her. But what happened? He's loved it until the day he was no longer on the show. If he's not no longer on the show, we're not sure about that. We'll see what happens in 4 or 5 minutes.
See what happens.
Yeah, happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
But yeah, those two, when they get together, man, it's a whole different dichotomy of a scene, Unser and Gemma. And, they were beautiful together.
One might say that Unser is the only person that she can really open up to.
Oh, my God. So true.
Right?
It's so true.
She doesn't open up to anybody else.
No. can't to her son, can't to Tara really. And Clay and her were always on the in and the out. So it's Unser.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's a deep relationship. And
True.
again, so now we go back to plotting how to get into this center, how to enter it. You can feel the setup. You can feel it coming if you notice these little things. Now, again, we just probably noticed because we knew what was coming. The audience definitely didn't know. Jax is like, we got to rethink this. Not happening.
Again, a subtle look he gives to Opie. Opie's behind him on the sidewalk when they're going up. He turned around to Opie and didn't say a goddamn thing, but he wanted to point out, I know you're with him. This is all going to be trouble for all of us, without saying one goddamn word. It was beautiful. Billy got
and
all those.
He says to him, if we do this, we're all going to jail.
We're all going to jail. Yeah.
You know, so the premonition is there. Jax stops Clay from taking the shot when they walk in.
Yeah.
That's a bold move.
Well, he saw the cameras.
He saw the cameras.
And what was happening there very quickly when all of us, the gang that can't shoot straight, all breaks in, what do we see? There's not one
AB,
person.
They call.
Pardon me?
They call them the ABs.
Yeah, there was not one AB. There was a couple. Weston was there and a couple, but it was mothers and fathers and grandpas and grandmas and kids having tea and those little pointed sandwiches, those little triangle sandwiches.
Yeah.
So Clay, when we see all that,
some might call it a club sandwich.
A club sandwich, sure. And so Clay, when he notices all that, and we all noticed all that, we're going, what? He sees Zobel, and you know what he wants to do? He wants to put a bullet in the back of his head. Yeah. And Jax goes, not so fast. Cameras are there, not so fast. And everyone's going to see him anyway. I mean.
Yeah, but there's a difference between getting arrested for intent to assault and murder, right? And Jax was smart enough to know that you're talking about, you know, maybe 3 to 5 years or 1 to 3 years as opposed to life, right? And so he should be thanking him, but they're not. They're at odds now. And when we go into this great church music montage that comes up, because I'm a big fan of like church bells. And even though I'm not, you know, whatever, you know, I study all religions. I love church music, and I love the sound of like church bells and all this. And I think it's really good. It always goes well in movies and in TV shows. Like you can kind of do great montages to it. And we get to see a lot. There's a lot that goes on there. Little things. Tara's reading the journal, which
beautiful.
Is.
Oh, and you're right, Juicy Pants. That stunt for Opie is now at the end.
I know.
You're completely correct. I love giving it up to you when you're right. And this time you are right. 100%, 100%. So yeah.
That should be the song every time I'm right. The right song. I'm going to ask you to sing me the right song when I'm right.
Sure.
Do you remember the words? You just did it. Let me hear if you remember. You are right. 100%. 100%.
You are right. 100%. 100%. You are right.
Yeah.
That little crazy choir type singing, church singing montage.
Yep. Gemma's praying, which Gemma's not religious. She's looking for, what do I do?
Oh,
do I tell him? Do I know?
Up.
Yeah.
No,
Gemma doesn't pray.
Pick up. She's lighting those candles.
Yeah.
She's never done that shit before.
Never. She's rejected religion throughout the whole series.
And you and I have talked about this, but at the end, to see you, me, and Clay, Jax goes in. There's that stare off that they have, and they had a few of those over the years. But to end it on me staring at Clay, it was just this is all on our decisions and what we did, and we're fucked. We didn't listen to Jackson.
And add the layer of the animosity, whether he'd be right or wrong. Maybe he could have gotten Zobel. Maybe he could. Again, there's so much. Zobel.
So much. Now,
I don't remember, and I'm glad I don't, what the ramifications are for us being arrested.
Don't have a clue.
Okay, me neither. So,
but guess what? We're going to find out, son.
We are. So let's think about this, because I have it here. Next week, we're going to be doing, because we're finishing out season 2.
Yeah.
We have my calculations. We're skipping the next episode, which is episode 7, because we've already done it.
We've already done it.
if you're watching this one right now, you can immediately go click on season 2, episode 7, Gilead.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did that already.
We did that already.
We did it on July 15th.
Wow.
Last year. I know. It's pretty.
I'm going to rewatch it, son. I'm telling you.
Me too. We've been doing this for a while. And then now the week after this upcoming, after this episode, the next one you and I'll do is Potlatch, which is episode 8.
Correct.
Then we're going to do episode 9,
Correct.
Fagwan. And then we're going to do the finale with our special guest.
Hey, guess what? And I'm not bullshitting. You know me. I just got a text.
From the guest.
In. For the finale.
I'm excited.
Oh, this is so great, bro.
So
right
great.
Here on my phone.
I got so many questions.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Questions.
What a beautiful review there.
Yeah, what did you think of the episode? Did you like it?
I loved it for the twosomes again. I loved it for the long, drawn-out, beautiful scenes. We didn't see Chibs, not one time. He's in the hospital,
yeah.
critical condition.
Yeah.
Piney's at the goddamn cabin.
Yeah.
This is again a beautiful
no half sack.
No half sack.
No.
This is a setup episode. I loved it. I found it a bit very favorable for Zobel and him playing us like the little idiots we were.
Yeah.
Falling for every trick in his bag of tricks. So I never liked that. But it was good to see us all together. A lot of boys in this one. I always love a lot of boys.
And I always like when we're kind of on the move and we do scenes in the bar or we do scenes outside and we're
bikes and all that.
Bikes and we're on the move. I like when we are all together because
again, me too. That
starts to dissipate greatly.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. It was a good scene for that, or a good show for that.
All right. Well, guess what? There's a lot coming up. And man, I got to tell you, as we get closer to wrapping up these first 3 seasons, it is going to be, when we get into these last 4 seasons.
I'm smoking a cigar. Starting in season 4. Every time I might
join you on that. I'm going to join you.
Because, by then I'm going to have a big studio outside.
Yeah. Like
squirrels will come up.
Yeah.
Feed them a little bit, even though I'm not supposed to.
So different.
Yeah.
We might even be together for one show. We'll share a microphone.
The world's getting better and better, son. We're that's gonna happen.
That'll be fun. All right. I love you, brother.
Hey, one more thing before I say I love you too, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm older than you, wiser than you. We're not just gonna say smarter, but
no.
I'm telling you right now, I'm done and you're not. And I know what you have come up on your plate this week. So hit it out of the park.
Thank you.
And much love. And I will see you in a week. And I'll talk to you every fucking day.
I'm going to take a 14-minute power nap.
You don't need to. You look great.
Maybe I'll just have some tea.
Agent Sunshine, shut your eyes for 14 minutes. Out. Love you.
I love you, bro.
See you, buddy.